Good afternoon. The Chancellor, Rishi Sunak, has just delivered a summer statement outlining his plans to bolster the economy, which is still reeling from the impact of coronavirus. Among the announcements, a £2 billion scheme to subsidise employers who give young people work placements. Well, our Westminster correspondent, Ione Wells, was listening. So, Ione, just talk us through what parts of the announcement apply to us here in Wales.
So different parts of this announcement apply in different ways in Wales. Firstly, there are things we know definitely apply in Wales. This includes the £2 billion Kickstart scheme. This is a scheme essentially to subsidise employers so that they can bring on 16 to 24-year-olds for 6-month placements who would be applying for universal credit. That's something which employers and young people in Wales will be able to make use of. Similarly, the job retention bonus. This is a £1,000 bonus for employers who bring back furloughed employees and ensure that they employ them until January. We also know that things like cuts to VAT on food, accommodation and attractions for the tourism and hospitality sector will also apply in Wales. But there are things that then are England only, but that Wales will get extra funding for. For example, the £111 million that's going to be spent on traineeships in England is England only, but we know that because it's a new spending as opposed to spending that's been reallocated from previous budgets, it's something that Wales will get knock-on funding for as well. They're due to get about £7 million from the Treasury as a result of that spending on traineeships in England. But the big caveat here is that the Welsh Government isn't obliged to spend this extra cash on the same things as it is being spent on in England. That will be for Welsh ministers to decide. And then there's also things which we don't know yet whether or not the Welsh Government will follow suit on. For example, cuts to stamp duty in England. This is the tax that people pay on new homes or land over a certain amount in England. The equivalent tax in Wales, the land transaction tax, is something that it will be up to the Welsh Government to decide whether or not that is lowered too.
So there's going to be a lot of spending then to bolster the economy. How are these schemes going to be paid for?
So what's important to remember is this announcement today wasn't a budget. We don't yet know exactly how the government plans to pay for all of this. What we do know is that the government is planning to increase borrowing. That means that individuals, companies and pension funds, for example, might be able to lend money to the UK government, which they will then pay back with interest at a later date. However, there are obviously concerns that there could be gaps between spending and money coming into the government. So this could potentially lead in future to other things like increased borrowing, potentially tax cuts, although that's something that the Tory government said they didn't want to do, or cuts to spending. But we won't know yet exactly which of these they will be going forward with.
Our Westminster correspondent, Ione Wells, thank you very much.